One of the scariest periods of my life is when I was working through my teenage years, 7 days per week. I was that focused on my own business and wanting to get somewhere that I completely ignored everything else in my life. I realised how bad this got when I saw people when I turned 20, 21 and that I hadn't seen in a few years, and they were talking about what they'd done and where they'd been, and I realised how much time actually passed. That led me to regret a lot of the decisions that I'd made. This is a video I wished I had watched in my teenage years. You're going to find some good advice in here on different ways you can think about your goals to benefit you and actually get you ahead in your 20s still. There's some real value in this. This is how you can really get ahead of other 20-year-olds. Anyone else in their 20s, if you follow these steps, you are going to win. So this is how I started. I needed some money. I needed work. So I spent all my time alone trying to make things work. I wasn't happy with the person I wanted to be, or I wasn't happy with my finances. So I decided I'm going to work as much as I physically can. This was a mistake. See, I thought the more hours that I put in, the faster I'll get paid and all my problems are going to go away. I was just focusing on money. I realised I thought all I wanted was money. I thought money was going to solve all my problems. Very, very, very foolish. So this is when I discovered something that took years off my life, because I was working all the time. I'd just sit at home, research anything to do with money, not realising I was killing my social skills and making myself socially awkward. I was working online on my own, so I wasn't talking to people. I wasn't going out on weekends. Because I was doing this so much, it made me socially awkward to talk to anyone anywhere. So I never got opportunities to speak to anybody, and it just spiraled and got worse and worse and worse. I spent so much time in my own head and I put myself under so much pressure. It not only affected me, but it affected relationships and everybody around me. I felt like I was fucked. Like, I actually genuinely felt like I had something wrong with me. I had to look at myself and decide to start taking actionable steps to fix my mind, because my mind was in a bad way from working so much, from being so hungry at a young age. And this all changed when I made my first 10k a month. Because I was 19 and I thought once I reached this number, then all my problems were going to disappear. And then when I got there and they didn't disappear, it made me realise this might not be the best path. And I might have really made a mistake here. Because this was the worst I'd ever been. The most money I'd ever made and the worst I had ever been when I got there. I was stressed, awkward, angry all the time and not even realising it. Thing is, when you are so caught up in your own world because you are wanting to work so hard and you're putting pressure on the time frame, you cannot even realise how much pressure you're putting on yourself, because you're outputting basically what you're thinking about to other people, and you're negatively affecting other people without even realising it, because all you're thinking about is your own problems. This is a very dangerous place to be. When you're a teenager and this is all you're doing, this is not natural. At any age, in fact. And there's a time and place for hustling. But my point is, this 7 days a week hustle for months on end is bad for you. Especially if you're working alone online. It is bad for you. You've got to live life still. So, what did I wish I did differently? If I could speak to myself right now and say, Theo, this is what you need to do, it would be calm the fuck down. The internet is showing you that you're in a rush. Yeah, all these 19-year-olds that are doing X, Y, and Z in all these different countries, it's bullshit. Even if you do make it at 19, you're not going to get respect of people who have had to really struggle, because they've struggled for a lot of years. So even if you make it from 19 and your career goes like that, which oftentimes it doesn't because you can lose everything you've worked for, you're not going to get the same respect. And you're not in a rush. If you're starting at 19, you are so ahead of so many people. So ahead. And most of your progress is going to come from self-development. So when you're focusing on just money all the time, that's not going to solve all your problems. The problems are within you, and that's reflected through your business. So you've got to look within yourself, and the most benefit you're going to feel is how other people perceive your reactions, how other people feel about you. And that's going to come from self-development. That's going to come from looking at the things that you're bad at and improving on them. So not just sitting on YouTube and watching make money content. It's about saying, right, are my social skills bad? Are my organisation skills bad? Are my people skills bad? Do I want to speak to girls better? Do I want to treat my family better? Do I need to get fitter. All these things you need to focus on because it's about the full picture. And once you start getting each of these sections right, that's when you're going to level up as a character, and then the money will come. It's not all about money. Money will not fix your problems, not money alone. This is one very important thing you've got to understand. You will never get these years back. And I'm not saying go out and waste your time, but you can work Monday to Saturday and take Sunday off. That's fine. Go do something. Take Saturday night off, go do something. You've still got to live your life, because what you'll find is when you're just in pure pain all the time and you're only working, when you get back to work, your output is not going to be positive, because you just forget what you're even doing it for. You need to go out and experience stuff and live life. And locking yourself in a room, it's depressing, it's not good for you. You know, you're working too much if you're doing that. Especially if you're in your teens. You don't need to do that. What you should be doing is focusing on specific time frames you work in and making the most out of those times. Because when the work day never ends, you'll find yourself forcing relaxation time randomly in, because there's never no cut off. So these things you've got to be really careful of. And you've got to be able to say, I've worked hard through this period and I've also enjoyed my life. You can do both. It's not only work or only mess around. You can do both. You've got to be responsible, but you can do both. You know, if you're in a similar position right now, just slow things down. I made myself busy with working all the time. So I was constantly busy, but I wasn't progressing because I was just wanting, I was in my mind saying, I have to work all the time. But that's not a progressive way to live. That's not a progressive way to think. That is going to disable how effective your work can be. You're not moving efficient if you're moving like that. And that's one thing you've really got to understand. You've got to think about your position, think about where this is going to land, and think, how am I going to practice my social skills? If you're going to decide to be an internet entrepreneur and you're working on your laptop on your own all day, where are you meeting people? Are you putting effort into speaking to people? Are your social skills naturally good or naturally bad? These are the things you've got to watch, because it can turn you very socially awkward in that position. And once you get into that, it's a very slippery slope and it's hard to pull yourself out of it. So these are things you've really got to bear in mind. And just fucking relax. Yeah. If you're a teenager, you want to work all the time, that's great. But you're not going to rush results. Results come over time. As long as you can set targets to what you want to achieve in a small period of time, or set targets to what you want to achieve on a consistent basis, if you're hitting that, the results will come. I know it's hard to picture because everyone thinks you're meant to get rich in a year. That's bullshit. This is the same thing with getting in shape. If you want to get six pack or you want to get hench, whatever it is, these things take time. So you need to focus on the output, not on the time frame. And that's the only thing that you can control. And if somebody would have come along and told me all that information a few years ago, I'd have been so grateful for it. So, you know, I'm hoping that you can listen to this, and maybe if you're in a similar position, reevaluate what you're doing, and hopefully this just confirms that you are on the right track. You're young and you're doing it, so keep going, keep living your life, and you'll never get these years back. Learn how to work hard, stay focused, and enjoy your life. Subscribe for more.